Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Susan Harrison, Exit Realty's Senior Vice President of Corporate Communications, and it's my pleasure this afternoon to introduce Exit Promo Shop Unchained. So get ready to take notes and get all excited about Exit Promo Shop today. Brian Wildermuth is the president and co-founder of Sharper Agent, the company behind Exit Promo Shop, and a good friend to Exit Realty. Brian has overseen Sharper Agent's growth from a two-man company in 2001 to a leader in the real estate marketing industry, currently serving over 40,000 users worldwide. In addition to his duties as the company's president, he is regularly invited to present his innovative marketing ideas to national audiences, and he's been invited to coach agents from some of the nation's top brokerages. Lending his expertise and insight into strategic marketing systems, Brian can teach even the busiest professionals how to better drive communication to their clients and their prospects. He's been a popular guest on our monthly Tech&Rs, and we're delighted to have him here with us to speak to us at our 2010 convention. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Wildermuth.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Susan. How's everybody doing? Man, it is so great to be here and to be on stage. I've been here all week, and I was just sharing with some ladies in the front here. I get to travel and go to a lot of conventions, and I get to experience the flavor of a lot of different brands. And I have to tell you, I'm not just saying this because I'm standing here and I wasn't paid to say this. There's something special about this company. And it's not, you can get energy when you go to any convention, you get music, you get good speakers, but there's something about the camaraderie. And the speakers that you've had have been phenomenal. And I can't put my finger on it. All there is to say is, I think you guys are going places. You've been going places for a long time. You're going to continue to go places. So I'm really excited to be here and share my concepts and ideas with you today. And I'm not here to demo Exit Promo Shop. I'm not here to sell Exit Promo Shop. That's not why I was invited here. I'm here to share some motivation and some reason for you to automate your marketing, for you to take a step back and be a little more organized in how you reach out to the consumer. So today, the main thing we're going to be looking at is how you do what Verl Workman was talking about a couple of days ago. How do you create process that drives a better return on the investment of the tools that you have? Now, I will share some ideas and things from Exit Promo Shop. I will show you a few things of how this applies, and I will be happy to share with you some of our product roadmap and where we're going in 2011, because it's really exciting. But I'm going to focus initially on how do you make connections with the consumer, and to do that, you've got to have process. You've got to have a plan. A while back, it was just about 6 months ago, I read the makeup of what's going to make an agent successful moving forward in this type of market. We have technology abound all around us. We have a challenging market as compared to a few years ago. What's going to make you successful? And the list, I looked at it, and there wasn't a single thing on there that I agree with. So I made my own list. I believe that people that are intentional in their marketing, they're organized in who they're targeting, and they're consistent and how they message, those are the people that are going to be successful in the coming years. It's not just about, well, I got to improve my search engine optimization with blogging, and I've got to get into social media, and I've got to do email blasts. It's not the action so much or the tools so much as it is the organizational structure of a marketing plan. So I'm really big on that process. Now, I did a Tech&R not too long ago on the full success marketing workshop that we created. And we created it for one reason. We have this really cool, flashy product, and we keep adding ways for you to connect and ways to have relationships with consumers. But we had no process behind it. We had no process. The challenge for you and for us as a vendor is the same. The pace of change is ridiculous right now. I've been in the industry since 1984, and I remember attending a lot of conferences way back then and hearing people say, in 5 years, this will happen. In 5 years, you will see this, right? And we have that now. We got some of those stats the other day. In a couple of years, people will go on the internet and search for things on their mobile device more than they will on their computer. Okay, so now we have another one of those. I remember it being way back when, if you're not on the internet, you'll be dead. Okay? That was way back when Al Gore first started the internet. Okay? But the pace is dizzying. I can't keep up. You can't keep up. Right? And we suffer in this industry. If you've seen me speak before, I talk about this. It's a big pet peeve of mine. Shiny object syndrome. Probably 8 months ago, I went to a conference and I saw a few people, 6-8 months ago, I saw a few people with iPads. I was at a conference 2 months ago. Seemed like everybody had an iPad. It's the latest shiny object. And we're really good in this industry at getting ourselves turned around in circles and looking for that one thing, the silver bullet. And that noise continues to grow. It's going to get louder. You must be on social media. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I usually talk about integrated marketing, multi-channel marketing. And I can't go on anymore without integrating social tools into that discussion. But I will tell you, I have a bias. My bias is that if you're spending all of your time there, you're missing out on tremendous opportunity. Tremendous opportunity. So what's the solution? We created this success marketing program, and we're in process of writing 2011 and adding a ton to it because, again, the pace of change is incredible. And correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, do we still have that up on the ERC? So we have the full course. It's normally 2.5 hours. I said, how am I going to fit 2.5 hours of slides in 50 minutes? So I decided to take out all my jokes. Is that okay with you guys? Or I could do it the other way, and I could just stand up here and tell jokes. The reality is, if you're not changing, your competition's going to do it. And I like to tell stories around my kids. Verl is beating me. He has one more kid than I have. I have 5 kids, and I can't wait to get back tomorrow, my little daughter's soccer game. I've got these little 7-year-old power soccer players. They're playing a whole age group up, and they're beating every team. In fact, we played a team 3 weeks ago, and they beat them by six goals. That's 2 years older than us. The height difference was ridiculous. But the reason I tell you the story is, if you are not making an effort to join the fight and to change what you're doing in your marketing, your competition is going to pass you right by. So you can't stay on top without innovating. And my little daughter, at the beginning of the year, I reward these kids. Okay? We teach them to juggle so they have better ball touches. So I said, we're going to juggle each week and keep track. And if you get to 5 juggles, remember they're 7 years old. If they can do 2, they're lucky. You get to 5 juggles, giant Hershey candy bar. Their eyes light up. If you get to 10, you get a Dairy Queen sundae. And if you get to 20, in some kind of miracle, I'll get you a Chick-fil-A meal or a Happy Meal. My daughter, at the beginning of the season, she gets past the 5. She got 7. And give me the chocolate bar, and I presented it to her in front of everybody else, and all the other girls were nowhere near that, and they were looking at her, and they were looking at the chocolate bar. And I told them, you got to practice outside of soccer practice. You got to practice. So she goes home, and what does she do? She doesn't practice. Now, my kids are all overachievers. 4 weeks later, we do the same thing again. Little Leah on the team, 17 juggles. Right, it has to happen in front of me. I have to count it. I have to see it. 17 juggles, present her with the candy bar, present her with the ice cream. And on the way home, my little daughter says to me, hey, Daddy, how come she's better than me? And I said, well, honey, have you been practicing? And I saw in the rearview mirror, the look on her face was kind of, oh, I got to practice? So I'm telling you, are you practicing? Are you expecting to get above your competition without doing something different this year? Marketing is something that has to happen by intent. You've got to be able to set the right goals. So part of my program is setting goals, helping you see where you're going. How many transactions does it take for you to get to the revenue you're desiring? We're not going to do that today, but that's something I encourage you to do in your business. You've got to have strategies, tactics that are effectively written down. So the purpose of this book, the purpose of this program, Success Marketing, is to help you effectively stay aligned with your customers for their entire life cycle. It can't be anymore about, oh my gosh, I forgot, I haven't stayed in touch with Sally. It has to be programmed, intentional, consistent for the rest of your career. And that's what this program does. Now, when we look at marketing, most people just think it's sending stuff out. Might be the messaging piece. We want to bring you through a whole process of organizing your database. Who are you targeting? What are your lead sources? What is your message to those lead sources? And we'll help you build the plan. Why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing it because I'm not about just selling you Exit Promo Shop. Doesn't do me any good if you get a piece of software and you don't use it. So we're about helping you create a process and organization around why you should be marketing. The main goal is to help you take your brand, what makes you unique, what makes you different, and take the advantages of Exit and all the tools that Exit has to offer, and the brand recognition that Exit has and is continuing to gain, and putting those together in a format where you can reach out to the consumer and connect with them at the right time, at the right place, using the right media, saying the right things so that when it comes time to buy or sell, they pick you. Now, I do a fun exercise where I ask the audience, tell me if I had a listing appointment or I was meeting you at the supermarket and I told you I was interested in buying a home, why you're different. And I get these kinds of answers. Well, I give great service. I'm an expert. I've been in the business 20 years. And I say, aren't those things that every one of your competitors could say as well? So marketing and branding includes you looking at what makes you unique in your value proposition and finding a way to get that in front of the customer. Each and every one of you has to know what are the key elements that makes your service, your offering unique to every other person that's selling real estate. So we're going to talk a little bit about brand awareness, but the main thing I want to focus on today is the message. How do you reach out? How do you connect with that consumer for prospecting, in growing new business? And how do you reach out and connect with that consumer for building repeat and referral business? A lot of the attention in a lot of classes you might take is on prospecting. We got to prospect. We got to generate leads. And that's true. A large portion of your time should be spent on that. I asked Verl after his session the other day, he talked about 3 hours a day. You know, if you're not prospecting right now, what are you doing? What are you doing? It is the number one most important thing you have to do. Reaching out and prospecting and marketing. So I ask you to ask that of yourself. Are you going into work and you're getting stuck in your social media? Are you going into work and you're getting stuck in your Outlook? I know I do. I'm working today, and my work is answering emails and such. Okay? The reason I share that with you is if you put in the front-end time, the data is never going to change. I don't care what technology you bring to bear. Search engine optimization and your website's at the top, it's still all about one thing and one thing only, and that is relationships. It's about relationships. It doesn't matter where the leads come from. At some point, you have to take that lead, that connect, and turn it into something that's going to last and sustain you through your business life cycle. I had the good pleasure of attending the Direct Marketing Association conference last month. First time I ever did that. Phenomenal experience because it had nothing to do with real estate. It had everything to do with just marketing. And Geico won the award for Marketer of the Year because of their creativity and their advertising. And we had companies there like Zappo and Disney Interactive and Pepsi, and representatives from Gatorade talking about social media and marketing and the consumer, and it was pretty powerful. And I took away a lot of statistics from there, and I also realized that there's not a lot of data in real estate. So I have some data here in real estate. There's only been one major study done in time, and that is for every 12 people that you contact on a regular basis, you're going to achieve a certain number of transactions. For every 12 people in your sphere of influence that you communicate with on a consistent basis, you will receive 2 sales. The data proves it. I get to do a lot of coaching, and I take people who are doing a great job at their sphere marketing, maybe not so much at prospecting, better at sphere marketing, and I take their numbers and I run them through the formula. It's the same every time. For every 12 people in the database, you get 2 transactions. So if you want to know the why and the how, and if I'm going to do 40 transactions next year, how many do I need to get from repeat and referral? How many people do I need in my sphere? Let's take a look at how that works. Now, Exit Promo Shop has over 3,000 templates and growing. And when we started out, I was looking back at some of the original slides of the product. We had like 10. And it took us a full day back then to program a template. We were the only company at that time that was doing an output that was both print and email. And it took us a full day to code so that when you clicked the button, it built HTML and the PDF at the same exact time. Okay? Now it takes roughly anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour, depending on whether we're doing the design, for us to do that same activity. Back then, we had a lot of fluff. And we still have fluff. You know what I'm talking about, fluff? Fluff is recipe cards, sports schedules, those types of things. Now, they have a place in relationship. If you know somebody who's interested in that type of thing and you can make a connection with them, they have a place. But for me, if I really want to make an impact with the consumer in today's world, I have to make them, remind them each and every time that I'm a professional. I'm a trusted advisor. I'm a professional real estate